I see this as just a vanity project. Am I being too pessimistic?
Well, I don't think so. This time they are doing things in a different order. And if you can see behind me, by the way, I'm on stage here just before the start of the Democratic debates, which are going to take up the rest of the week here in Miami, Florida. That's the commotion behind me. The candidates have been walking through and preparing, and it's going to be pretty exciting to see how this all shakes out over the weekend. But yeah, look, they're putting things in a different order this time. They're not putting the political solutions first. They're putting the economic solutions first. And I think the reason they're doing that is to say, look, we know there's this roadblock, there's this intransigence, this refusal to negotiate on the final settlement issues, Jerusalem, refugees, borders. Let's look past that. Let's look to where we want to go. Let's look to the eventual goal. For too long, I think previous administrations have said the agreement is the goal. And what Jared Kushner has actually done is interesting. He has said, no, the future is the goal, the better future, the integrated region, the economic growth, the West Bank and Gaza prospering, Israel safe, Palestinians with dignity, people making money, people investing, people finding work. That's the image, that's the vision he asked people to imagine. And that was refreshing. There's been too much emphasis on where the parties divide. He's asking people to fast forward in their minds and think about a future that works for everybody, even if there are still disputes about other things. And I think it's very effective. Now, Palestinians haven't agreed to anything yet, but I think what he's doing is creating more pressure for them to agree. It's going to be harder and harder for them to leave $50 billion on the table. All he's asking them to do is join this economic plan before they get to the political issues. I think it's a no-brainer for the Palestinians, and he's increasingly making the sale to the general public in the Middle East.
Now, when I first heard $50 billion was at stake, I thought, oh my God, first of all, that's going straight into a bunch of Swiss bank accounts. I mean, Yasser Arafat died a billionaire. But then I learned that the money would not be coming from America, but rather from the Gulf states. That made me feel slightly better about it, that it wasn't American money. But look, I have no doubt that an ordinary Palestinian man or woman living in Ramallah or even in Gaza would like to move away from constant conflict to, I mean, if you want to be visionary, to a future like Dubai. I mean, there was once a point in time where West Bank Arabs were amongst the most liberal, secular, educated, but they have no say. The last Palestinian elections, Mahmoud Abbas in the West Bank, Hamas in the Gaza Strip, there's no political dissent. There's no genuine free press. You could have 99% of Palestinians agree to this happy future, but if you can't get the terrorists at the top to agree, what's the point, Joel?
Look, I think the point is to move forward regardless of what the Palestinian leadership says. If they agree to this, then great. You can start integrating the region. You can start moving ahead with peace initiatives, economic initiatives, and you can presume that peace is a mutual goal. If they decline, well, then Israel has done its best. It's a massive amount of money, $50 billion. If they'll walk away from $50 billion, they're not interested in peace at all. They're not interested even in talking about it. So I think it's a win-win for the administration. Either way, they're going to move past this in terms of their foreign policy. They're basically saying we are not going to let our entire Middle East policy be tripped up on this issue anymore. And I think it'll be convincing to other Arab states, other Arab communities. They'll say, look, we've done everything we can for the Palestinians. We put all this money on the table. They still walked away. It's time for us to move on as well. And so I think it's a win-win for the administration. I think it's very interesting the way they've done it. I think it'll be successful.
That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. Every day I do a video monologue and then I interview an interesting guest. And then I end by reading my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at therebel.media/shows.